Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and for years, I have been saying that one of the biggest win-wins the developers could make would be to give us some of our resources back at the end of KVK. Now, that looks like it might be happening, and I am so hyped. So in this video, we're going to review this face-to-face with the developers, and if you want to go in and make a comment for like, oh, here's all the dates where Chisgule said these would be really cool features, I mean, they're in my videos, I would pin that comment. Because a lot of what's here is stuff I've suggested long ago. Here we go. Question 1. Will you be adding more quality of life tools to the game, like a speed up or resource calculator or kingdom management tools? Now look, I can name half a dozen games off the top of my head that have resource and speed up calculators. It's just really convenient. And as someone who worked in technology and product management, I can appreciate that if a problem is solved some other way, why would I need to build it into my product, right? Like there's third-party websites you can use to calculate your resources and speedups. It's just not as convenient as like seeing it there without having to do anything. And it is just better that way if you can just see it there without having to do anything. So they are launching these tools. They've designed them. They're launching as soon as they're able. As far as the other quality of life tools, we're still collecting player feedback. Based on our findings thus far, it would seem the majority of players are relatively opposed to directly adding a DKP tracker or similar management tools to the game, which is why we haven't implemented these features. Now look, for those that don't know what DKP means, it's Dragon Kill Points. Back when oh my God, I'm so old. But way back when you raided in a MMORPG, World of Warcraft, you would participate in raids, and to determine who would get loot, people would accumulate points based on their contribution to takedowns of bosses. And then you could spend your points in a variety of ways to claim loot if loot finally drops for you. This is the system players created to reward your consistent participation in raids, even though loot was never a guarantee, and most of the time you got nothing. So the idea that DKP would be in this game doesn't exactly make sense, but I get the idea that a lot of kingdoms, or perhaps some of the most hardcore kingdoms, are creating their own mechanisms for saying, hey, who really contributes the most? And at the end of the day, quite literally, every kingdom must track their players' performance from KVKs, or they're just going to lose to people that do. Like, you either manage your performance, or your performance just gets worse. And I don't know exactly that everybody would be able to even align on like, yes, we all track contribution in this way or that way, but I do think there are a few things that I bet would be helpful that everyone could benefit from. I am surprised that a lot of people, like I'm shocked that a majority of players are opposed to adding some sort of DKP tracker or similar management tools. I don't know. That part is surprising to me. Seeing my resources and speed ups instantly is, I think, a long overdue, amazing quality of life feature that I'm so happy to see. Why do city themes have debuffs? You should get rid of city theme debuffs. Okay, so I think the answer here is they're not trying to like make people super overpowered. They're trying to give you a pro and a con. Like, yo, you want to be better with your cavalry? All right, you're going to be worse with your infantry. And I think that's actually not a bad thing. So I would not get rid of city theme debuffs. They said our initial plan for city themes was to have a wide variety of buff and debuff combinations, accommodating a range of different playstyles. As time has gone on, and we've collected additional player feedback, we've started to think that city theme debuffs add little value to the game. I dramatically disagree. I think that the point of a city theme is for you to make a choice. The point of a city theme is not just, oh, look, you're overpowered at literally everything. The point of a city theme is that you can be better with one troop type, and that comes at a cost. But as such, they've decided to remove debuffs from all current and future city themes. We expect to implement these changes in a future update. Oh my God, I didn't see that coming. I just woke up. I'm just reading this. Oh my God. I can't believe they're doing that. They're removing the debuff. So what this does do is it opens up more possibilities for like, oh, this theme is good or that theme is good. It also instantly makes a lot of themes super duplicative of each other. Like there's a lot of themes that are like, plus archer defense, but minus this other stat, and plus archer defense and minus some other stat. So anyways, wacky. I did not see that one coming. Sure. I mean, I guess technically I just got buffed, and so did everybody. Okay. Okay. Sure. Will there be more ways to obtain transmutation crystals in the future? Yes. We're currently planning to add more ways to obtain transmutation crystals. We'll let you know of our specific plans. This is great. For those of you that don't know, you must not be subscribed, so consider subscribing, because anyone who's subscribed to my channel knows that I got this armament, and you're probably tired of hearing about it. I spent all my rerolls, couldn't do any better than this. I used a crystal, 10 rerolls, 0 improvements. Used another crystal, 10 rerolls, 0 improvements. I might have used a third crystal. I can't even remember anymore. At this point, I may as well just say I used 100 million crystals. The point I'm trying to make is that we need way more of those crystals, to be honest. And so it sounds like they're going to add a way to get them. Will it cost me an arm and a leg? I hope not. But either way, it's a W. I think that given how remarkably time-consuming and difficult it is to get good armaments, and particularly the inscriptions, it's critical that when you get one, it's actually, good, and you can make it good. So more of those, please. Whenever a new formation is added, I need to invest a ton of resources into it, even though I haven't finished working on existing formations. Oh, this is like the same idea here. So yes, the developers have recently made it very important to value the healing formation if you care about archers. We don't know how important that'll be, but I suspect in a year it could be critical. And the developers have made it really important that they will make it really important that combo formation is a thing. And I'm sitting here like, bro, I'm still working on Arch. And Arch was one of the first formations that was available, So as a rally or a garrison, you get especially locked in to I have to commit until it's completely maxed. So they say, we're working on ways to reduce the resources and time required to acquire and replace armaments without devaluing the armaments that players have already invested in. I am not sure how you do that. Possibilities we're currently considering. Oh, good. Include providing more ways to acquire armaments. True. So just make it easier to get them. Optimizing the guarantee system and adding the ability to convert armaments into other formations and more. I mean, if I were to pick a system of this game that was the number one thing to look at to improve the experience of it, I would certainly say armaments and inscriptions is it, right? In terms of if we could look at any one thing that a player collects, especially. Okay, no, I mean, then it's really obvious. But that's good. That's great. Constant KVKing is stressing me out. It's hard to build up the required resources in the offseason. Bro. Hey, bro. Look, I don't know how many years ago I said that I thought the developers should do a couple things. First of all, offseason is not as exciting as KVK. And especially many, many, many off seasons in a row is not as fun as KVK. But the amount of resources and speedups required to play KVK is high. So I said quite literally years ago that the developers should give a speedup and resource refund based on what you used in the KVK so that you can queue up for more KVKs, which is more fun, okay? And also, they probably make a buck or two off of all the crystal technology people will buy because they're entering KVK more, right? It's like a huge win-win. So yeah, you can try to tackle events in the off-season to make the off-season more entertaining, or you could remove this unnecessary barrier to playing KVKs, right? Right? Incentivizing people to buy from the store and have more of what they need seems like a really good way to also just solve so many problems. Like off-season entertainment, solved. Having more battle experience that you feel like you're, getting value with your account, solved. It also makes it so that if you're going into KVKs more frequently, which by the way, I said years ago KVKs should be shorter. This, I'm looking ahead here. This is going to be the next question. But KVKs should be shorter because A, if you get into a stupid situation, which happens more often than I think is ideal, but it's like, hey, players make their choices, right? So like if a bunch of people decide to take an easy KVK and screw over a bunch of other people, at least if KVKs are shorter, you're not sitting there for 60 days being like, well, this KVK is lost and it hasn't even started yet, right? So my perspective on this one is that you should get into a KVK faster. And even if you don't change the length of KVK, front load the start of the KVK with your recovery window rather than leaving time at the end to have recovery. Because once KVK is over, I just want to leave the map. Even if I've won, I'm done, bro. Get me off the map, get me into the next KVK, right? Like, I don't want to sit there in KVK farming at the end. I get that the barbs are better. I get the resources are better. I quite literally do not care. So what I think would be better, even if you don't change the KVK length, which I think should be shortened either way, to mitigate against just bad KVK experiences, I would say that making it so that you front load the recovery to the start, right? So that you're kind of like, if you really feel like players need that recovery time, give them that time at the start in the earlier zones, like before they've had their fighting, and like then make it fast and furious through the end of the KVK, such that like Zig is taken, KVK is over, we all move on with life. Instead of just like sitting there for 2 weeks in the feel bad of we lost, but I still need to be in this KVK map because this is how I recover, sitting here looking at the fact that I lost. Anyways, this next question is individual KVKs. Am I ranting? I'm like not trying to rant. Maybe I should have had caffeine before this video. Individual KVKs are too long with a lot of boring stretches in the middle. Will you be shortening them? So yeah, I think shortening them is the best. And if you don't shorten them, cut the recovery time at the end, put it at the beginning, so that once you realize, oh, we lost, sucks to suck, please just let me move on with my life immediately. Our goal is to trim unnecessary time from the season without affecting the core KVK experience. Once we've confirmed our plans, we'll announce them in another face-to-face and collect your feedback. All right, bet. I mean, that's awesome. Shortening KVKs is something I've advocated for that for a long, long time. The KVK matchmaking algorithm needs to be fixed. How did I just pronounce that? Algorithm. I don't want to have to disband units and kick non-combatant players just for KVK matchmaking. Another thing I've been saying for years, by the way. It's amazing that all these problems are suddenly getting looked at. I'm happy for it. In the current matchmaking algorithm, power is not the only factor that is considered. And troop power actually has very little impact on a kingdom's matchmaking rating. That is shocking to me. But I will say, in Call of Dragons, I happened to go into general chat and someone's like, the power of these two groups is even. What do you mean it's imbalanced? And I was like, I cannot even begin to explain to you why looking at two groups and saying their power is the same, why is that not a fair fight, is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But even the developers just said that is the dumbest thing they've ever heard because troop power actually has very little impact on Dude, I just had a baby. I haven't slept. I can't read. I can't pronounce. I can't do anything. Troop power actually has very little impact on a kingdom's matchmaking rating. In addition, only players who have reached a certain level of activeness in recent KVKs will be factored into their kingdom's matchmaking. We're currently designing a new algorithm that will no longer factor troop power. It'll also optimize the way we determine which players are active and should be factored into matchmaking. Here's what you need to do. Bro, I should get a big paycheck. I'm telling you. I have all the solutions and I provided them years ago. What you should do is make each player's matchmaking score public. Easy. If you don't do that, then players will still believe they have to zero their dead weight because they don't know that they're not dead weight. Because if their KP looks like dead weight and their power looks like it's dead weight power, then they're going to get zeroed. So it doesn't matter if the matchmaking system doesn't account for these factors because players don't know that. So to me, if it looks like a dead weight, right, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, like looks like a duck, it's probably a duck, you know? So, or a goose, as it were. Look out. A goose is behind you, GG, that Halloween video. What I'm trying to say is, it doesn't matter what your matchmaking does if you don't stamp a player publicly with that matchmaking rating. And that might sound like a brand if your matchmaking rating is really low because you suck. But like, guess what? It's really low because you suck. And at least your kingdom now knows that they don't need to zero you. And that's probably the better of the two. That players know, oh, okay, that guy's not messing our matchmaking rating, rather than this guy has power, doesn't kill their troops, we need to zero them. Right? Easy. Besides adjusting the matchmaking algorithm, we've recently added the new vacation permit feature to facilitate kingdom management. We're also considering adjusting a number of vacation permits to each kingdom based on activeness and giving a passport page discount to players on vacation. All that's good. All that is good. But I'm also correct. If you're good, it doesn't matter if they don't count towards matchmaking if the kingdom's leadership does not actually see that number. They must, for self-defense reasons, do what they must do to protect the active players. And if you don't protect your active players, expect to lose them. The threshold for being an Imperium kingdom is too low. I agree. It is weird. It is weird these days. Every time we want to take in new players, we need to massively cut our troop power. Let me tell you, it is the greatest anti-pattern I have ever seen that troop deletion is required. Even the ads are about gaining power, you know? Look how high power I am. Deleting troops is the opposite of that. So, anyways, in a recent update, we introduced special immigration rules. We hope to alleviate some of these problems in the Imperium kingdoms have had with taking new players. We'll be paying extra close attention to the issue once everyone has had time to experience the new rules. No. This is fantastic, and it does not solve the problem. Like, at no moment in time should a player ever have to delete their troops. Full stop. Right? My opinion. Will there be more ways to acquire passport pages in the future? Even though you can theoretically buy them in the Alliance shop, most alliances aren't willing to spend their Alliance credits to restock them. Another thing I said years ago is that we can't use our Alliance shops because you have to use your credits for forts. So we need to fake build flags in order to get credits to barely fill the shop with barely what players need to operate, because the majority of the credits have to go to forts. And they said in the future, passport pages in the Alliance shop will automatically restock, which is huge. We actually have this in Call of Dragons. So this is really fantastic and actually like a absolutely massive W. And I know that all throughout this, I'm like coming across as a little bit critical because I haven't slept and because I feel like I shared these ideas long ago. But there are so many wins in this update message. It's actually like truly amazing. Question 10. This is supposed to be a mobile game, but as of right now, using mobile controls put you at a disadvantage against people playing on PC. Will you be optimizing the mobile controls? The answer, we've been paying close attention to how the game performs on different platforms. By the way, I said this should be done ages ago as well. To improve everybody's experience, we will very soon be introducing a new control mode to the mobile version. Like the PC version's mouse controls, this mode will allow you to order a selected troop to attack, march, or attack march with a single input. Huge! Launching with this new feature will be a number of new improvements, such as filter mode. I don't know what that does, but I'm intrigued. We're looking forward to hearing your thoughts once you try them out for yourselves. I love it. I mean, look, on mobile, there's got to be controls commensurate with PC. So I love that that is a thing that's happening. Huge. Fantastic. What other quality of life improvements will you be adding? We're in the process of developing several quality of life improvements related to the exploration of fog, such as being able to send out scouts in batches or faster fog exploration, and the ability to automatically claim village rewards. Cool. We'll also continue exploring quality of life improvements to all other aspects of the game, such as fighting barbarians. Bro, fighting barbarians is just a really funny one for me right now because a lot of games these days have the ability to auto barb. So you select the level of the barb that you want to fight, and like your troops just go and spend your stamina or your action points or your CP or whatever they call it, automatic. So yeah, that's funny. This is unironically like one of the best face-to-face with the developers they've ever done. And I know I came in hot because I'm very passionate about these topics. And I'm passionate about these topics because I've been presenting these ideas, I feel like, in my videos for quite literally years. It's like, hey, you know what would deeply improve the game? These things. And here they all are in one update mail. This is so much goodness in one place. I mean, keep me honest, but if they put all of this into the next update, which I don't know that they committed to, that would be possibly the best update to the game that they've ever done. The only other thing they could do that would make it better would be like lift the help cap, right? Oh man. Yeah. I mean, because lift the help cap, make it so you can dismantle your gear without losing materials and give a refund to the people that already did dismantle legendary gear, so that then they can just allocate it toward other stuff and be passionate about that other stuff they're allocating it toward, but they lose the patterns, but they keep the materials. Anyways, I've got a few more ideas that I would cook up, but this update message, it's not really an update message of face-to-face. This is fire. All of this is very, 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 very good. I like can't overstate how happy I am with a lot of these things. And I hope that some of my proposals actually make it somewhere, like, you know, like, hey, stamp a player with their matchmaking rating. Like, people need to know, you know? And if we don't know what it is, they're getting zeroed. Like, it just is what it is. Like, no matter, you can tell me that, you know, power doesn't matter, but like, nobody cares. Nobody cares unless you can see definitively this player, according to the game's presentation of information, specifically is not the problem. You must assume they're the problem. This is, I mean, you know, I hope someone finds the year where I said dead weight management is such an anti-pattern, because it's getting solved, and that is amazing. I will pin your comment though. If you find the origin of when I suggested fixes to all these things, I will pin the heck out of that. That's so funny. I would even consider making another video where I just replay what I said briefly for all these things. Maybe I just like the sound of my voice too much. I'm going to go now, and I'm going to go take care of my baby. And at some point I got to take a nap, man. I'm out of it. If you enjoyed the vid, throw a like on here, subscribe. Alternatively, Ragnar Prime looks insanely good. I'm not sure what the future of infantry will be, but I can tell you, here's what I think the best open field pairings are with him. And here's where you can just see the test results for yourself. Like, Ragnar Prime is the GOAT, bro. Check it out.